What's good, YouTube? Chris from Team Innovation here, bringing you guys my top 10 rogue decks post the national season of 2015. Now, I know a lot of you guys do not like playing meta decks, so I took it upon myself to bring you a compilation of the best 10 rogue decks going into this national season. So without further ado, let's begin. Start off with number 10, Infernoids. What can I say about Infernoids? The deck can OTK. Hell, the deck can even FTK. There's a build that a buddy of mine's at Locals made that FTKs for this deck pretty consistently that he wanted to take the YCS Chicago. So for his sake, I'm gonna keep the deck on a need to know basis right now. But the deck is can do some retarded things, and in the basic builds, it can control the fields. And the deck is pretty cheap and pretty rogue. You really don't see a lot of Infernoid players right now. So for that reason alone, I had to have it at number 10. Coming at number 9, I have Sylvans. The deck is really consistent at what it does, which is spamming out monsters and spitting out advantage and milling stuff. The deck can gain advantage over you if you keep letting their stuff resolve. And the deck can pretty much swarm. I remember one time I was playing as a Sylvan player at Regionals, and he just went Hermit Tree, Sage Koya. He made Draco Sack. He made that dang level 8 guy that protects himself. Like, pretty much good XYZ plays. And so, yeah, Sylvans just got 3 Lone Fire back off the ban list. And I can see it being a pretty good rogue contender. Definitely a tier 2. So at number 9, I had to have Sylvans for those reasons alone. Coming in at number 8, I have Volcanics. Just like on my top 10 best decks of the format, I had to add Volcanics in this top 10 best rogue decks of the format. The deck is consistent, it can burn you off, and the deck can pretty much grind it out with you. There's variants that main deck the hands, which are, I think the real variant does main the hands to control things like pesky back row, the Cleafords. It just got Ring of Destruction to help those burning plays, so the deck can definitely deal some damage. The new trap card it got in the most recent set, or was it the set before the set that just came out? I don't keep up with these things, but that trap card that lets them draw gives them their consistency. So for all those reasons alone, I had to have Volcanics on this list because the deck is pretty scary in the hands of a skillful player. Coming in at number 7, I have Yosenju. The deck can lock out and the deck can swarm. Now this is a deck I love to hate. Like, if I don't draw Mirror Force against this deck, I'm in a pretty much bad position because the deck it attacks directly, it swarms the field, it bounces cards back, and eventually the deck hold goes to normal summon guy, normal summon guy, normal summon guy, poke, and then I pretty much lose. It's really annoying, and if they're playing the trap card version, they can lock you out their counter trap card. So when you're playing against Yosenju, you really don't know what variant you're playing against. And the fact that it can main deck the floodgates like the mistakes can really hurt Necros players and Heroes players like me. So for those reasons alone, at number 7, I had to have Yosenju. Coming in at number 6, I have Ritual Beast. The deck can grind and the deck can catch you off guard. And what I mean by catch you off guard, almost every Ritual Beast has a big block of text. Now, you know, us as Yu-Gi-Oh players don't like to read, especially when you're in a 10 to 12 round tournament like a YCS and you're going in about round 6 with no food. You really don't want to read. You've probably been reading all day, probably didn't get to sleep. So with those reasons alone, unless you play Ritual Beast, they can do some things that'll catch you off like, what, bruh, damn, I didn't even know that deck can do that. So you really have to pay attention when you're playing against this deck. And the fact that the deck can grind, deck can make Pink Dolphin, and deck can keep on tagging in, tagging out, making chump blockers up the yin yang. So for those reasons alone, I had to have Ritual Beast at number 6. Coming in at number 5, I have 3.5 Fire Fist. And I don't know why it's called 3.5 when it doesn't run level 5s. Because all it does is run it runs the bear engine with the spirit engine and etc. But point blank is the deck can lock out with the Fire Fist spell that locks out back row. The deck can grind out with the spirit and the rooster and the yin yang. And the deck has bear. Bear is a beast that's an instant out to the degen lock and other things like that. So Fire Fist is definitely a good rogue contender for this format. Don't get it twisted. The deck was tier 1 in Japan for a while, and us TCG has that pretty much full power minus the rekindling, but we do have Soul Charge in place of the rekindling. So Coming in at number 5, I had to have Fire Fist for those, the 3.5 Axis Fire Fist for those reasons alone. Coming in at number 4, I have Dark Matter Hieratics. Dark Matter Hieratics is a really great deck to consider as a rogue deck for the upcoming format. A lot of players have found new ways to run the deck. They run it with level 8 normal hieratic monster, and they run it with some goofy, those other dragons. I can't think of their names right now, but the fact of the matter is the deck can still work. It's not as consistent as it used to be, but if once you get out the Dark Matter Dragon, I'm pretty sure it can just deal some damage. And hieratics by themselves can just combo out and can OTK. So I'm pretty much honestly just fearing this deck going into this format, because I'm not trying to get it twisted. I know people will break the formula once again 100%, and they're already breaking the code right now for the formula. So be on the lookout for Dark Matter Hieratics in the future. So coming in at number 4, I had to have Dark Matter Hieratics due to the fact that people are finding out new ways to run the deck. Although while it might not be as consistent as it once was, it can still do some damage. Trust me on that one. Coming in at number 3, we have Shaddols. The Star Seraph speed coming out next month, the World Star Pack, and then Dinko Seka. Pretty much had to have Shaddols on this list for that reason alone. The deck, we already know what the deck can do. It can control the field, it can spam, Construct is a beast, and we have more Shadow stuff than what the OCG has. So since we have more support for our Shadow deck than the OCG had, and Shadows was a tier 1 deck in the OCG, us TCG players have to step our game up and bring our Shadow decks back up to a tier 1 status. Now I think the Star Seraph will add a lot of speed to Shadow decks, and Shadows have the option of Dinko Seka as well. So that would make Shaddols a good contender going into this next format as a good tier 2 to tier 0.15. So for that reason alone, I had to have Shaddols at number 3. Coming in at number 2, I had to have Masked Heroes. Dark was more to be said about this. My favorite deck. Dark Law controls the graveyard. Pretty much almost all the meta decks revolve around the graveyard. Blaze Man adds a ton of more consistency for the deck. I cannot wait to get Blaze Man. It is a good replacement for Stratos. Hell, I wish we had Stratos and we can run it in combination with Blaze Man, but I'll take what I can take right now. And the deck can already OTK, and with the uprising of Blaze Man, the deck will be able to OTK a lot quicker. There also may be some Star Seraph hero variants coming out in the near future as well, because there were a few variants in Japan, but Japan does have Shockmaster, so that is a factor. So with all that being said, I had to have Heroes on my rogue list for a reason, because Heroes is a rogue deck and it's a good deck, and it is my favorite deck to run. And last but not least, coming in at number 1, I have to get the number 1 slot to Satellaknights. The Star Seraph's engine was pretty much made for Satellaknights. Alpha Nova gives you a tons of advantage. The deck can grind its ass off. I mean, I would have felt dirty if I would have gave the number 1 slot to like Heroes over Satellaknights, but I had to respect Satellaknights Gangster because the deck is really consistent already. And with the Star Seraph, all you're gonna be doing is seeing Denev summon, Special Summon Seraph, draw, overlay, draw. The deck is gonna be really insane and really nutty. And the deck was tier 1 in Japan for a while, and I can just imagine it being tier 1 in the TCG for our national season format. So, but right now Satellaknights is still rogue, so instead of being on the regular list, even though I did have Satellaknights on the regular list, it's still considered rogue because the main decks right now are Cleafor, Burning Abyss, and Necros. So as a recap for the top 10 rogue, doesn't have to have Satellaknights, even though it could be a regular deck. But I'm keeping it rogue right now due to the fact that BA, Cleafor, and Necros is considered still some of the best decks in the format. I have Heroes at number 2, Shadows at number 3, Dark Matter Hieratics number 4, 3.5X at number 5, Ritual Beast at number 6, Yosenju at number 7, Volcanics at number 8, Sylvans at number 9, and Infernoids at number 10. This was my top 10 rogue decks for the national season. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Let's try to get it up to 50 likes. 50 likes would be great. And of course, I do these videos because I truly believe in helping you guys become better players. And I also do these videos because I truly believe in you guys help me become a better player. This was Chris from Team Innovation, and I am signing out. Peace, guys. Have a good night.